Hi guys, so we're going to start by going over pronouns again. So we have lesson 1, exercise 4, identifying pronouns. Okay, so I want you to make sure you have this open in your binder. And we started going through this yesterday, but I just want to go through this one more time. And I want to uh, make sure we have a full understanding what we were talking about yesterday. So here we are in our handbook, and this is our section on pronouns. So here it says pronouns. Pronouns are function words that are used in place of nouns. Different groups of pronouns have different functions. So first we have subject pronouns, we were talking about, or we can call them nominative pronouns. It means the same thing. So we should just think of whenever we see nominative, it just means subject, or subjects, it means nominative. Nominative pronouns take the place of a subject in the sentence. So these are examples of pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they are all nominative pronouns. The example here it gives you is this would be a sentence you could say Jack sat in a cab. So here's our cab, Jack sat in it. So we know Jack is doing the sitting in the cab. Or we could say it with a pronoun. We could say he sat in the cab. So he replaces Jack in the sentence. And a pronoun is replaced, again up here, pronoun are used in place of nouns. A subject pronoun is being used in place of the subject. That's one of our nouns. So we say he sat in the cab, or we say Jack sat in the cab, or we can say he sat in the cab. So we're using a subject pronoun. So here's some more subject pronouns. We've got I, you, he, she, it, and then we have the plural ones, we, you, they. And we can make any sort of sentence with these. So let's give that a try. And then we have object pronouns. So our object pronouns are taking the place of objects, and they're called object pronouns. Those are examples of me, you, him, her, it, us, and them are all object pronouns. So here's the example. It says, Carla is handing the plant to Sally. So here, if we were going to go back and talk about our subjects, we could say Carla is our subject. Carla is doing the action. So we say, Carla is handing the plant to Sally. So Sally is our object. So when we use our pronoun to replace it, we're going to say, Carla is handing the plant to her. Okay? So the object pronoun is replacing the object. Instead of saying Carla is handing the plant to Sally, we're saying Carla is handing the plant to her. So her replaces Sally in the sentence. So here are some more of our object pronouns. We've got me, you, him, her, it, and then our plural ones, us, you, and them. So when we can write a sentence where something is doing an action to an object, and we can use these. We use me, you, him, us, to them. So let's give that a try. Finally, we have a set of pronouns that are called possessive pronouns. So these pronouns show ownership or possession. It belongs to someone. They're called possessive pronouns. And our examples here are my, mine, your, yours, our, ours, his, her, hers, its, their, and theirs. So sometimes a possessive pronoun functions as an adjective. So sometimes we see a possessive pronoun with a noun. We see, my desk is a mess. But sometimes the possessive pronoun replaces the noun. So we would just say, mine is a mess. So here, mine replaces my desk. So these are examples of our possessive pronouns, okay? So we could give that a try. We could try to write a sentence where we're using a possessive pronoun. So now we're back to our lesson 1, exercise 4, identify pronouns. And we have our 10 sentences. Each of them has a pronoun in it. and we want to decide if it's nominative or subject, like we said, an object, like just the object pronouns we've seen, or if it's possessive. Is it saying something belongs to someone or something? So we'll come up here and we're going to look at this. So one, it says, people of Egypt are proud the pyramids are theirs. So we want to think, is this our subject at the beginning of the sentence? It's not going to be our subject there because it's not at the beginning of the sentence here. It's not the main thing. So our subject here is going to be people of Egypt. So people of Egypt is our subject. So we know this isn't our subject pronoun. And then we have people of Egypt are proud the pyramids are theirs. So we have theirs is telling us the pyramids belong to the people of Egypt, right? So we're talking about possessive. So we're going to go down here and put an X in possessive. And the second one, we're looking at this, and it says they offered trips by camel to see them. So you see, they is our subject. It's right at the beginning of the sentence. They offered trips. That's what they are doing. So we know they is going to be our subject. Okay. So number 3, it says that book with photos of Egypt is mine. So we want to think about first we can go right to mine. Okay. So we could say that book with photos of Egypt is mine. So are we talking here? We're talking about the photos belong to someone. So we're talking about possessive. So we'll put that X right there. Number 4, the men showed the blocks the stonecutters made to us. So it says the men showed the blocks the stonecutters made to us. Okay, so we know we're not talking about possessive because us isn't telling us something belongs to someone here. We know we're not talking about the subject because our subject is the men here. So we must be talking about an object. Okay, so we'll put an X right there. So you see how I can rule this out as possessive because I know we're not talking about something belonging to someone. So it says the men showed the blocks the stonecutters made to us, or we could say the men showed the blocks to us. We're not talking about something belonging to someone. We're not talking about, so we know it's not possessive. And it's not the subject because our subject is starting the sentence over here. The men showed the blocks. Okay. And then we have their way of building was different from ours. Okay. So their way was different from ours. So ours is talking about the way that belongs to us, right? So their way is different than our way. You could write that in here. And then we wouldn't have the S here. So we'd say it's different from our way. So this is functioning as a possessive again. It's our way. But here it's replacing it entirely. So their way of building was different from ours. So we're talking about belonging. We're talking about possessive. Number 6, a stonecutter sharpened the tools that were his. A stonecutter sharpened the tools that were his. Okay, so here we have his, and it's talking about belonging again. The tools belong to him, or his, so it's going to be possessive again. Number 7, he kept them in a safe place. He kept them in a safe place. So here we could be talking about tools. He kept the tools in a safe place, but it's replacing that. We're saying them. So when I think about them, is them talking about possession? And it's not. He kept them. It's not talking about them belonging. So he says he kept them in a safe place. We know it's not possessive. We know it's not a subject either, because our subject is right here. He's doing the keeping. He kept. So we must be talking about an object. He kept them. What did he keep? Them. So number 8, he would give his son his tools. Okay, so he would give his son his tools. We can ask ourselves, are we talking about possession here? He, is that one of our possessive pronouns? And we would say no. Then we could ask ourselves, is this one of our subjects? And we would say yes. It's the beginning of the sentence, and say he would give. So he's doing the giving, so we could say this is a subject. Number 9, a father would offer his son help to use them. Okay, so we've got them here, and are we talking about possession? Are we using one of our possessive pronouns? So we could look back over here at our possessive pronouns. Is this one of the ones we're seeing here? So it says a father would offer his son help to use them. So is them on here? And it's not. So we know we're not talking about possession. A father would offer his son help to use them. So we're not talking about possession. Is this the subject? We know this isn't the subject. The subject is a father. A father would offer his son help to use them. So them is going to be our object. It's not possessive. It's not our subject. Finally, we have you should visit the pyramids too. You should visit the pyramids too. So are we talking about possession? No. Is it our subject? It's at the beginning of our sentence, and it's doing the visiting. So we're going to say yes, that's our subject. So that's exercise 4, identifying pronouns, nominative or subject, object, and possessive.